Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go to the Senate side here. They're going to discuss some of the other issues that didn't get touched upon. And so, Andy Harris, Senator Andy Harris.
Ladies and gentlemen, simply put, your liberties, your livelihoods, and your health care are under assault in Annapolis this year, and in Washington, I'll say, as they never have been before. With regards to your liberties, I'll tell you, I thank you very much for inviting me to an ABATE meeting. You know, I've worked with you over 12 years. I drive them a little crazy in Annapolis because I'm the only physician in the state Senate. And I think that actually, you know, whether you decide to wear a helmet to protect your life is really your business, not the business of anybody in Annapolis. And, you know, we tried to work. We haven't repealed that law yet, but we're trying to. Which is kind of a strange thought in Annapolis, that you actually have the liberty to decide whether or not you know, how you're going to protect yourself when you ride a motorcycle. It's an interesting, like I say, it got a little upset in Annapolis, you know, when the doc thinks that way. But this year, I'll tell you, you talk about an assault on your liberty, you read the bill that they put through that banned the use of cell phones in your car, handheld cell phones. I will tell you, it went so far that I got an amendment, fortunately, added on the Senate floor. You know, I'm a physician. I have a hospital pager. According to the way the bill was originally written, reading a message on my hospital pager from the hospital would be illegal, the way the bill was originally put forth. In fact, the way the bill is written right now, if you're driving home today and you get a one-word text message on your cell phone and you read it, you are breaking the law. It's incredible. You're breaking the law. Because they would not allow an exemption for reading a text message if you're holding that phone. That's incredible. And it allows the police officer to look into your car, and you know, look, I have 5 kids. 3 of them have cell phones. You know, my 2 oldest girls, they sleep with their cell phones, for God's sake. They all love them. Everybody's got a cell phone in the car. This allows police officers to look in your car. They see you with a cell phone, literally holding it. You hold that cell phone. Not initiating call, just holding. It's a crime. It's a secondary offense, which means they see a broken taillight, they see anything else doesn't work on your car, it's a reason to stop you. Now, I don't know about you, but that worries me. When they look at a device everybody has and gives the police a reason to stop you for that. So, you know, and it's without reason. Again, they could have written it very carefully, say, look, you can't, as we did a year ago, and I supported the texting while driving, because I'm telling you, I was driving down Route 50 once, right out here in Northeastern, watching a guy with an Explorer towing a car, he had a sports car behind him on a trailer, literally, neither hand on the wheel, doing the 2-hand texting thing. I'm going, okay, that goes a little too far. That's probably shouldn't be allowed. For heaven's sake, to pass a bill that doesn't even allow you to read a one-word text message on the phone. It's just amazing. In fact, you know, I have 3 daughters, and we said, well, what about if I want to call my daughter, they're out late at night and they're somewhere, and I call them to see how they are. Literally, if they answer that phone in the car without stopping, pulling over on the side of the road, they're breaking the law. And you go, wait a minute, what about, these are, I have a 19-year-old daughter. They don't want to stop on a dark country road. They really don't want to pull off the road and stop the car. It's probably more dangerous for that than anything else. They don't listen to that. That's not what this is about. It's about a loss of your liberty. Let's talk a little about a loss of your livelihood. Because what they did is they passed the budget this year that took $1.5 billion in federal stimulus money and used it to plug a gap in a budget. Now, anybody who looks at that knows that when that stimulus money runs out next year, the state government rather, is $1.5 billion short. And that's where they start. And everybody knows that the way some folks in Annapolis want to solve that is by raising the taxes on you. And they'll go after businesses first, but they'll go after individuals. Now, I will tell you, in the midst of a recession, when on the shore here, the unemployment rate's 10%, the last thing you want to do is put a tax on individuals or businesses, but individuals and businesses realize that's the only way they're going to get out of the fiscal mess they put the state into. And that's just not right. That's irresponsible. I don't run my household that way. You probably don't run your household that way. Why in the world should the folks in Annapolis do that? Why should they be allowed to spend $1.5 billion more than they reasonably have the expectation they're going to take in next year and put us in that kind of hole? They did it because honestly they can. You know, we allow it to happen. But I would ask you to make that an important issue as you go out and vote for folks this fall. And businesses, until we until we change the business climate, and that is until we make it clear that businesses are our friends, not our enemies, that businesses provide jobs, they don't remove jobs. I mean, businesses are the job providers in this economy. We don't treat them that way in Annapolis, and again, making the fiscal outlook that uncertain is very dangerous in terms of the business outlook in Annapolis. Finally, a subject near and dear to me is health care, and I will tell you that I worry a lot because of the trend in health care, both at the state level and the federal level. And you watch the same TV I do, you understand exactly what that trend is. And that trend is to have government control more and more of your health care. And this year, the thing that's immediately going to affect us all as citizens of Maryland is they passed the budget in Annapolis, $32 billion, but it included several $100 million in that budget that they hoped the federal government would send in additional stimulus funds. In fact, they're discussing that right now in Washington, and it looks like they're not going to send it to the states. Which means they're going to have a hole of several $100 million in their health department budget, in their health budget. How do you think they solve that problem? They solve it by decreasing reimbursements, by decreasing monies that are supposed to go to local jurisdictions, hospitals, and providers. Now, I picked up the paper the other day, and how many layoffs do they have in the Shore now? 29? 29 layoffs. That's going to be made worse when several $100 million doesn't flow from the states because they weren't responsible enough in their budget to budget with the monies that they had, not monies they thought Washington would send them in the future. That's an irresponsible that's an irresponsible thing to do. But that's what they did, and it's going to affect your health care right now. Because that money is what hospitals and practitioners depend on. They depend on when they take care of a patient, and that patient is a Medicaid patient, for instance, taken care of by the state, they expect to get a check from the government. But they're going to be very surprised because, again, there's hundreds of millions of dollars missing in this budget. And next year it'll be made even worse. I won't even get into the federal issues on health care, but I will tell you, we have the best health care system in the world. My opinion is, keep the government out of it. But anyway, I'm going to stop with that and turn it over to Senator Colburn, and certainly be here to answer questions later. Thank you.